So let me start with a little bit of a background. I went to the University of Nottingham where I studied business and economics, a double major. At some point in my second year, it was a 3-year course, I felt the need to do more with my time. So when I was in my second year, I started formulating a business plan for what I would do eventually in life. I ended up launching that startup, but it failed. But my point being that in college, during college, I felt the need to do more because beyond a point, the parties get old and it's fun for a bit, but then you kind of feel like, where is this going? I still remember it was during my 3rd year when I was talking to my best friend Anuja, and I said, at some point next year, I'll give a TED Talk. And at that point, I had no idea what I was going to do, what I wanted to do, but I just felt like that was a statement I made. And she laughed, I laughed, because it seemed improbable that that would happen. And we forgot about it. And I came back after graduation. I was one of the only people in my grade who came back to Bombay instead of pursuing a master's, or my other friend from college had landed a job straight out of college with JP Morgan Chase. But I came back to Bombay and I took a sabbatical. A sabbatical essentially means that I was not doing too much with my time. I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do because I didn't think that I wanted to work in a bank, or I didn't feel passionately enough about it. So I took 6 months off, which is a lot of time. I was reading, I was writing, I was traveling. And during this process, somehow, Humans of Bombay happened. It happened very organically. It wasn't part of my master plan. It was just something that I did to fill up my time. And I started with the intention of telling a story. I just wanted to tell the story of the person who you see on the street, or you pass by, or like when you come to school, if there's a watchman, what is going on in his head? What does he do? And I still remember that when I did launch Humans of Bombay, I had absolutely no idea that it would be what it is today. But it clicked, and ever since then, I feel like when I look back, I know that I've learned a lot since I was your age, I guess 17, 18, 15. And I would have done things a lot more differently if I had the experience that I got in these past 4 or 5 years. And I feel like that's something that I want to talk about and share with you. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the fact that no dream is too big. How many of you know what the law of attraction is? I mean, show of hands. Does anybody know? Do any of you know? Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So those of you who don't know what it is, I wish I had known what it was years back, because I feel like I would have applied it so much better in so many different places. So you must go either read or watch the film The Secret, or get your hands on The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. It's a great book. For those of you who do know what it is, it works 100% of the time, and I'm a manifestor myself, so I feel passionately enough to talk about it. In a nutshell, what the law of attraction is that you are a magnet. So anything that you think about, feel, or set your intention on, you attract into your life. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it works both ways. So if you're thinking positively, you'll attract more positive things in your life. If you're thinking more negatively, you attract those things into your life. I'll give you an example. One of the examples that I talk about the most when I talk about the law of attraction in my experience is my obsession with Forbes. I hope you guys know that what Forbes is. And ever since I knew what it was when I was somewhere around your age, I became obsessed with the idea. I wanted to be featured on Forbes whichever way. Even if it was in fine print, I just wanted my name there. So I started attracting it into my life. I started speaking about it like it's a matter of when, not that it's a matter of if. And I would speak to my friends and my family, and people thought I was delusional because clearly I was a 22-year-old girl who's just started this inspired concept, Humans of Bombay. I was not making any income 3 years ago. To the point where at one point all my social media account passwords was something Forbes 2016. And I don't know why I picked that year, I just picked it. And somewhere around March 2016, right before the launch of my book, I got a personal email from an editor at Forbes Asia. And she emailed me saying, I would love to interview you. I have a section that I write. It's called Women Entrepreneurs in Asia. And I'd love to interview you. And I just asked her, why did you pick me? And she said, you know, I've been chasing you for a while. I actually DM'd you on Facebook and you haven't responded. So I took 2 steps more and I went on to find your email address just because I wanted to interview you. And in April of 2016, I had a 3-page article in Forbes Asia. And every time that I feel that I can't attract things or I'm not in a position to create the world around me, I remember that because it just gives me faith. And I feel like that's something that you guys should know, that if you think that your biggest dream is a possibility, then it is. And if you think it's not, then it's not. It's entirely based on what you think. The second thing that I feel is important to talk about is that age is an illusion. I feel that if you can create something at 18, somebody at 35 wouldn't be able to create that same thing. It's all in your head. There's no age or no specific time to do something that you feel passionately about. I was always told that writing isn't a great profession because it doesn't pay out a lot of money until and unless you're a J.K. Rowling, which I'm not. But the point is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think or what people say, that you're too young to do this or like shift your focus. Whatever you feel passionately about is something that you should ardently pursue. So whether it's singing or dancing or cooking, just do it. Do something that makes you love Mondays and that makes you jump out of your bed. And I feel like that should be your new alarm clock. It should not be that you have to get out as a mandate. We're in an age where we have 24-year-old billionaires, and Elon Musk breaks the internet more than Kim Kardashian. So I don't think that there is a barrier. The world is too boundless and too limitless, and you can be and do whatever it is that you want. I've often closed very big deals for my company, being the only woman who's also under the age of 25. And I've done it because I feel passionately enough about it. The next thing that I feel is so important in the light of bigger things that I can't even stress it enough, it's to just begin. We have this flawed misconception that everything needs to be perfect in order to create a perfect product. But perfection in itself is a misconception. When I started Humans of Bombay, I made the logo on Microsoft Word. I literally just typed Humans of Bombay, and whichever font appealed to me at that time, I was like, okay, cool, that'll be my logo. And I went on to Collage Maker and put in random images of Bombay. And I was so lazy that, there's a Collage Maker at the bottom. I could have trimmed it. I really could have, but I didn't. Because I was like, you know what, who's going to read it? But my point is not to be that lazy about the things you do. My point is that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to go through layers of approval. If you feel passionately about anything, even if it's a pet project or something you're doing on the side while you're at school, just do it. Just begin. And sometimes that first step is so important to take you where you eventually want to be. The other thing that I feel very passionately about is, and something that I started doing very recently after I started working with Humans of Bombay, is that I started thinking of myself as one with the world. and I don't distinguish myself from it. A little bit more, it basically means that you give back because you want to give back. You know, there is this whole charity angle. I know people who volunteer or who do X number of things with society only because it's getting them a certificate or it looks good on a resume. But that's such a wrong way of approaching the topic. I feel like the more you give back, the more also comes back to you. Not that that should be a motivation, but it's definitely true. And my tryst with it started after Humans of Bombay. I didn't know what it was going to be very honest. I was writing a blog, and we had a lot of followers, but I never thought that we could make a tangible difference. But I'll tell you the story of the first time we ever crowdfunded. It was 5 lakhs back in the day. It was for the daughters of sex workers. They were unlawfully removed from their home without a deposit, only because the landlord found out that they were the daughters of sex workers. And basically these 12 to 18-year-olds were on the street, and their founder, the founder of this foundation, Kranti, called me and said, hey, do you think you can help us? And I said, I don't know, I've never done it, but I want to help you. So I went down there, actually spent a lot of time with these girls in Kamatipura, it's a red light district in Bombay. And it broke my heart to see that they were on the street and had absolutely nowhere to go, and they'd already suffered so much. So I just told the story of one girl who said that, you know, I'm really proud of my mom. Whatever it is she does, she did to feed us, she did to feed my family, and I'm proud of her. And I just told the story, and it said, you know, this is a situation, these girls are on the street, and they have nowhere to go, they have no money. And I think it was 5 lakhs that they wanted, because I didn't know what kind of amounts I would be able to raise. And I think we raised in 2 hours about 6.5 lakhs, just because people felt the need to contribute and the need that I can help. And that kind of proved to me that beyond what I was able to do, there were so many people in the world who also wanted to contribute and do things for other people. And if you make that your fundamental or your root, I'm sure that your impact, no matter how small you think it is going to go a long way. When we crowdfund, we get amounts like $5,000, but we also get 50 rupees. And they're from school kids or college kids like you, only because they feel like it's my pocket money, but I want to put it to good use. Which is why at Humans of Bombay, it's our root, it's at our root to help out people in whichever way. And that's such a strong message that I feel is important for you all to know. Another thing I really want to talk about is the fact that it's super important to detach from social media. And my entire career is based on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm saying that, like, detach from social media. It is a huge bubble, especially at your age, where you look at these posts and these random photographs of people in your circle, and you get an illusion that everybody everywhere is constantly happy and traveling and having these experiences, but it's not real. It's not real life, and it took a long time for me to get there that it's as far from reality as possible. So please break the illusion of a social media bubble. Apart from that, the principle that I want to talk most about is the idea of surrendering. And it may be a little bit of a heavy concept. Y'all may think that, you know, religion or spirituality is something that is a domain of the older people in our society, but it's not. It's a delusion. Most of the brilliant minds that we look at, like whether it's Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, they all meditate and they all attract things to their life. So I'm not advocating any religion or anything. I'm just advocating a basic principle that you attract whatever it is that you want into your life, and you have to learn to overcome the little ups and downs that you face as part of the process, and just know that no matter what it is that you're going through, it's leading you to where you want to be. So definitely think that it's important to read a little bit on it, or like watch a YouTube video, or meditate. Start meditating for like 5 minutes. Sounds boring, but it's not. And if at the end of this entire talk, you guys at least start opening up to the concept that you may want to explore it, I'll feel like, it was a good talk and that I had made an impact. And yeah, so that is the things that I wish I knew at 18, just having a positive mindset, just knowing that I can be and do anything that I want. And you guys have so much ahead of you. I think the opportunities are limitless. You just need to have the right mindset. And if you change your world within, you will change your world outside you. And that's something that you guys should definitely look into. And I'm not just speaking randomly from like, oh, let me preach about this, but just from my own experience, I went from being an 18-year-old, just like you, having no idea what I want to do with my life, to becoming an entrepreneur. I went from having 1 follower to today 1.1 million followers. For the longest time, for the first 3 years, I was the only person who was working on it. But today we have 20 employees. We've raised over 6 crores in crowdfunding. And it's all because I've learned these things in the past few years, and I really hope it helps all of you guys in some way. Thank you.